Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm if you can hear me. Good evening. Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay, so we'll be starting in the next 4 minutes just to give some persons time to join in the class. We are already behind time, so okay. So we'll be starting the class now. I want to welcome everyone to week 7 class. I want to welcome everyone to week 7. It's nice to be here once again. It's nice to see everyone um, participating in this class. We have made it to week 7, and I'm happy for everyone that has taken this class seriously. I'm seeing Gift here, Precious, Opemi. Nice to meet you once again. Okay, so for week 7, we are going to be looking at project management tools, and I think the top rated apps are Trello and Asana. Yes, we'll be looking at Trello and Asana. So for today, we're just going to be looking at Trello, what the app is all about, and tomorrow we'll be going into Asana. So I just want everyone to understand that these two apps are quite broad. So we may not be looking at every single detail of the apps. Yeah, it's just for you to know the basics, and with time you get to practice and work with it as well. So in the course of this class, one very important thing we should take note of is that everyone must have the Trello and Asana app downloaded on their phone. I would say it again. Please make sure the Trello and Asana app are downloaded on your phone. Please, it's very important because once the assignment comes in, you're going to be making use of these two apps to work, to practice, to learn. So it's very important that you have this in your devices. Okay. So I'll just give us a brief rundown of what the Trello app is all about. Then we will go into the practical aspects. Let's see how much time we will be able to do all this. Okay. So we're looking at project management. Project management is the process of planning, organizing, leading, and controlling resources such as people and time to achieve specific goals within a defined timeline and budget. Right, so that's why it's called project management, because you're actually managing a product, a project rather. You're organizing what you want to do. And for an upcoming virtual assistant, one very important skill is that you need to be organized personally and professionally. You need to be organized. So it's very important you know how to organize your schedule, even maybe without using these project management apps. You have Google Calendar that is there to help you manage your schedule, right? So I think time management, yes, is also involved in project management, because for every project you're organizing or planning, it has a duration, meaning that you should be able to cover up your work within that duration. That's why you're setting it up. Oh, you're saying that, oh, I need to do this and I need to do that. And you're bringing it up as a project. You need to do this and maybe within 2 days. So within 2 days, how do you expect to do your work? That's where time management comes in. You're able to block out time to be able to focus on what is at hand, to be able to, give it keep it at the top of your priority list, right? So this is just a brief introduction of what project management is about. Then we'll be moving over to Trello, the first app we are looking at today. What is Trello? Trello is a project and task management tool that helps individuals and teams organize their work in a clear visual way. It uses a board system made up of lists, and cards, similarly to sticky notes on a whiteboard. So in the Trello app, each board represents a project. List shows stages of work depending on what you want to do. Like if you, let me say you're working on maybe your personal goals, for instance, or in your work you just have personal stuffs you need to complete. You can create your list to be to do. What do you have? What are those things you plan to do? Then you have another list of doing, or what are those things that you're doing now? And then you have another list which contains the word done. What are those things that you have accomplished, you have finished up, right? Ex- Excuse. And cards represent specific tasks or ideas. You can move your cards across lists to track your progress, to assign tasks to teammates, set due dates, add checklists, and even attach files. So the reason why this is a project management tool is that you don't get to work alone, right? You get to work with members. You can give your teammates access to this particular project. They can, look at what you're doing and probably comment as well on the project at hand. Okay, so just read through this and before I move on to the next stage. Okay, yes, I'm back. So next up, we'll be looking at the importance of using Trello, to you as a virtual assistant. Why is this app very important? Now, I don't know if most of us have actually seen job ads of virtual assistants. you know, by the time you look at the description and probably what the organization needs from you, you'd see that most of them make emphasis on you knowing how to use Trello or Asana. To some of them, it's like an added advantage, right? So we are looking at the importance of Trello. First is for task organization and management. Trello helps virtual assistants to organize their work visually by using boards, lists, and cards. Now, it's very important to know the difference between your board, your list, and your card. You can easily track daily, weekly, or project based tasks, making it simple to see what is in progress, what is completed, and what is pending. It's so easy to say, oh, I haven't done this, or oh, I have done this, or this is what I'm currently doing. Yes, you get to say it, but are you able to see what you're doing? So, um, making use of Trello helps you to also see, you're jotting down what you need to do. It helps you track what you're doing because you're able to see that there are things you haven't done, there are things you're doing, and so on and so forth. Then another importance of Trello is time management and prioritization. Just like what I said earlier, time management is part of project management. Now, each card can have due dates, checklists, and labels, which helps a virtual assistant prioritize what to do first and manage multiple clients efficiently. So let's say you have like probably four to dos, four things you need to do for today, for instance, you need to weigh them, right? You need to place them on priority. Or what is that urgent thing you need to do? That is where you begin to arrange them all from number one to number two to the last. And then you're able to put your due date. When is this needed? How soon is this needed? Then you get to label it. Okay, does this fall under, for instance, personal goals? Does this fall under professional work? You get to label it under any category at all. Then another importance of Trello is the transparency and accountability. Clients can easily see what their virtual assistant is working on in real time. This builds trust and accountability as progress is clearly visible. So while you're working on a project, you can share it with your boss um, in your project, while using Trello app. And as you're updating what needs to be updated, your client or your boss gets to see what you're doing, right? It builds accountability because you're being accountable to your boss, and he is also being accountable to you as well. It also builds trust. It shows that for whatever thing you're doing, there's transparency. You're not hiding any work that needs to be done. Your boss is seeing how you have moved from doing this to actually, completing the task. Okay, so these are just like the few importance of Trello. This is why you need it as a virtual assistant: task organization, time management, transparency, and accountability. There may still be more points, but to me, these ones are very much important. Now, we'll be looking at the components of Trello. We have the board and we have the list. A board represents a project or workspace. It is the highest level view in Trello, showing everything related to a particular task, client, or goal. So you can have different boards. Board represents projects. You can have different projects, or you can call it your workspace, for instance. So let's say you want to plan an event, you're already creating it as your project. Or maybe you want to plan like a baby shower, or just something that involves a lot of tasks under it. You know that if you want to plan an event, there are a lot of things you need to do, from managing the halls to the refreshments to the guests, logistics. It can be even planning a church program, for instance. And we all know how um, uneasy it is when you're planning a program. You look at your venue, you look at your attendees, you look at the sound. Oh, the workforce is there. There are a lot of things you need to do. The guest ministers. So there are a lot of things you need to put in place, right? So let me say planning for a church program or for an event now. It's a project. So you can have different boards, different projects you're working on. Then we have the list. Lists are used to organize stages or categories within a board. They appear horizontally and help you to track your progress. So first off, we looked at the board, right? It represents a project or a workspace. Now the board is saying you have defined that you want to do something. You have defined that you want to plan an event. An event. Let's just use that for instance. You have defined that this is what you want to do. So you've given it a title. And then list comes next. List is like saying these are the things that are involved in planning an event. Okay, for example, now we have the to do, we have in progress, completed, on hold. You can decide to, change this a little. Now, under your list, you can now categorize it under by putting logistics, for instance, in event planning, attendees. You can put a refreshment, different things that just falls under event planning. right? So the list I used to organize stages or categories, whatever categories you need to impute for your board. You know, this is where your list comes in. It's just like the board is the parent, and then the lists now are like the children, from age 3 to age 10, just something like that. And then we have our cards. Cards are individual tasks or items within a list. Each card can hold detailed information. Now, by the time you create your list, for instance, under event planning, you've looked at your list is logistics. Now, what are the things under logistics? Your description. What kind of logistics are you getting? Are you doing your checklist? What are those things you need to do that falls under logistics? Attachment of files. Are there any documents you need to add? Are there any images that are inclined to you working on logistics? Let's just say logistics is like your list, is just a category of what you want to do in event planning. Then we have comments and conversations. We have due dates. When is this planning for logistics due? Comments now involves, okay, who are your teammates under logistics department, for instance? When you get to like add them, you guys can now communicate, oh, this is what needs to be done in the logistics of this event, blah 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 blah. You see where members assign team members, and then we have labels, color coded tags, and we'll get to see that when we are um, doing the practical aspects. Then the fourth component of Trello, we have our members. You can add members to a board or card, depending on what you want to do. This allows collaboration among members who can comment, edit, or track tasks assigned to them. So let's say maybe you're the head of a committee, for instance, and now we are in the world of tech. So every single person you're working with in your committee must have Trello. So you guys get to update, you get to share tasks, you get to view them, everybody gets to see the due date. It's just like how you get to meet physically and then you're communicating. But now this is virtual. This is through an app that has helped make project planning and project management much more easier, right? So another component of Trello is due dates and reminders. Each card has can have a due date and even a time. Trello sends reminders and notifications to keep you on track. So you're not just planning your projects, you know, and maybe having to remind yourself that this is what I need to do. That is why Trello is there. Trello gets to see that, oh, Divine decided to do this and finish up by 8 o'clock. This is the due date. Trello now sends a reminder. It's just like when you're making use of your Google Calendar. When you're creating an event, the title is there, um, the time is there. What time does your event start? What time does it end? What date does it start? What date does it end? You now see that on your Google Calendar, you get to add your location, right? If you're having a meeting through Google Meet, you get to add people that should be on the call. And then you now see in your Google Calendar, there's a notification option there. So do you want Google Calendar to remind you 20 minutes before your event, 10 minutes before your event, or do you want Google Calendar to remind you at the time of your event? I'm just trying to like help us understand how um, Trello works. It's quite similar to how your calendar reminds you. So Trello also sends reminders and notifications that, oh, this is due on so 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 day and at so 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 time. Then we have the checklist. break down large tasks into smaller subtasks within a card, and then you can tick them off as you progress. So we're looking at the logistics department when we started. It falls under the list category of your board, which is event planning. So let's say under logistics, you need to set up a meeting, you need to communicate, let me say, with guest ministers, for instance, you need to um, okay, add hall management into it, you need to check the hall, you know, things that you need to do under logistics. This is where your checklist comes in. Now you're ticking them off one after the other, right? You're thinking them of one after the other. Those things that you need to do to make your list, to make your category stand. That is where your checklist comes in because you're looking at them one after the other. So you're ticking them off, ticking them off, ticking them off, just like that as you progress. And then we have attachments. You can add document links or media to any card. If you need to share a document with your team members, or if there's a link you want them to look at, or if there's a picture you need to send, that is where attachment comes in. It's part of the components of Trello, and it is great for keeping related files in one place. So when you send any attachments of your choice, the team members that you have added to your project get to see and can also communicate as well where necessary. So we've looked at what Trello is and what the components of Trello and why it is important to you as a virtual assistant. So I just want to ask if we understand up to this point before we go into the practical aspects of the class. Do we understand? Okay, so in case anyone has any question, you can just type it. I think towards the end of the class, we'll get to review any questions you may have about Trello. So we are going into the practical aspects now, and I would really appreciate if we are very focused now. Okay, because for me, I think the first time when I downloaded Trello and Asana, honestly, I never understood what they were. I felt they were so complex. Especially for Trello, I looked at Trello and I ran away. Even Asana, I looked at it and I ran away because I was like, why so much um, complexity? Why is it looking like a lot? But then along the line, I just took my time and I was like, okay, I'm actually going to learn this. Even if I've not started um, using it professionally, right, for work, I can actually use it personally for my own personal projects so that I'll be able to practice, know how to, do certain things with Trello and Asana so that by the time I get to apply for a job and maybe one of these apps now is needed, I'll be able to defend, what I know and use it effectively. Okay. So I'm going to be opening my Trello board so that we can all see and understand how Trello works. Okay, so please confirm if you can see the Trello board. Just type you can see it, just let me know. All right, thank you, Samson, for sharing your feedback. Thank you, Sharon, as well. So this is how the Trello board looks like, because I'm making use of my system. It's not always the same view when you're using your system and when you're using your phone. Same goes to our Google workspace apps. When you open Gmail, for instance, on your phone and the view on your system, they are totally different. So this is how the Trello board looks like here. And one thing about Trello is that it also has templates that you could work with. So these are the different categories on the Trello. We have business, design, education, engineering, marketing, HR and operations. We have personal, productivity, product management, project management, remote work, sales and support. Okay, and then we have team management. So there are a whole lot of templates on that Trello that one can use. And bear in mind that Trello also has like a premium subscription for persons that want to go higher and access better features. But I'm just using the free version, right? So these are the templates of Trello. It's a whole lot, like they have a lot of templates. So you can, check them out at your free time to see how you know, they look. So I'm going to my board. I put my full name here, Victor Choma Divine's workspace, and this is my own board. But we are going to be creating a new board. We're going to be creating a new board. So I want us to someone just help give me a title. What do you think we can work on? Should we just make it just give me something you think we can work on, like a personal project? Or should we just go with event planning? Is it okay if I need our suggestions, please, so that this class will be interactive and then we'll get to understand the app together. Okay, so since no one has typed anything yet, let us name this as my personal goals. This is our board. This is what we want to do. My personal goals. So in your board, you can make it visible to the public or private to you. So mine is private. Only board members can see this board. Workspace admins can close the board or remove members. But let me just leave it as workspace. Now, the Trello free trial is has only 10 open boards, and I have used 5, remaining 4. So once this is over, I would have to go premium or still make use of my existing boards. And it says for unlimited boards you have to upgrade your workspace to get more access to more features. So let's create our board. I named it my personal goals. So this is it. This is our board. This is where to add your lists. So we are going to be adding our first list. Let's say, okay, um under here we can say, okay, we can name this fee. We can name this finance, for instance. Sorry, it's not my struggle. So we can name this finance. I've added a list. So remember what I spoke to us about list. It's where you get to, let's say, categorize what you want to do, which is this is our board. Our board is in my personal goals. Now this is our list. Finance is the first list. Now I want to create another list. Let's look at health and wellness. Health and wellness is part of my goal. Then let's look at another list. Let's say growth and mindset, for instance. Growth and mindset. So you can, create as much list as you want, but we're just going to be looking at these three for now. So under finance, you'll see that you can add a card. So can anyone remember what I explained to us on what a card is? Do we all remember what I said about card? Okay, someone said items. Anyone else? Okay, individual task and items. Okay, thank you so much, Samson, for sharing. So we are going to be adding our card now. Yeah, so we are going to be adding our card. You can either create from templates, which is an option here, or you can just add your own which you want. So let's say for finance, I want to save um 50,000. Just say for instance, I save 50,000. This is like my own goal for cat and for under finance. Let's say the other one me under finance. Okay, what do I want to achieve under finance? I can put make an investment, for instance. Make an investment. So let me just go with these two. Let me say 50,000 naira. So we are going to be looking at these cards one after the other. I've opened it. So add here means you can add content like members, labels, dates, and checklists. Power ups, manage power ups, automation, or hide comments and activity with the menu bar here under comments, power ups, automation. Then under here we have move, copy, mirror, share options in the activity menu. So this is the first, let's say the first task under finance, for instance. You can label it what kind of what um what does this fall under, what does this represent. It's more like a sub category. So let's say I want to use grain. You can now edit it here where this pen mark is, and I can just type savings. So you can get to choose any color of your choice, whatever color you feel comfortable with. I want to go with green, so I've chosen green as my color. And then I go here and press save. And that is it. I've created my label, it's savings. So here are dates. Okay. I want to say 50,000 naira. When do I want to do it? When do I want to start saving, and when do I want to end? So let's say I want to start today being 11th of October, um 2025. 11th of October 2025, and my due date is let me say 31st. I hope this date is correct. Okay, month, date, year. That's how they started their own. Okay, so month, date, year. Today is 11th date month. Yeah, okay, so my due date, I want it to be 30th, for instance, at 8 p.m. Okay. So you can set your due date reminder. Do you want it to be a day before, at time of due date, 5 minutes before, 10 minutes before, just like how I explained how the calendar works. So let's say I want it to remind me like 2 days before, because it's morning and I don't want to forget. So I set my start date. I want to start saving by 10th, and I want it I want it due by 30th. So maybe within this period I'm expecting some money to enter my account. So I'm going to use this period to be able to sort myself. And I have said that okay, Trello should remind me 2 days before that I need to save for the month 50,000 naira. And then I go over and put save. Then it shows dates. Okay, it's putting November for me. It's supposed to put um October. Then I've gone to save. So it's saying that it's going to remind me um 30th October by 8 p.m. Now we have members. Who else do I want to give access to this? So you can search members um of your choice. You can put in their names, and it automatically give them access into this particular list. Sorry, into this particular card. And then you have your attachments. Okay, what else do I want to add? Do I want to send a link? Do I want to add a file? It shows you can choose to add file. So whatever thing I want to do, maybe I want to um anything at all you just want to add, any file, you can attach it and it will be added right here in your card. Right, so here under add we have labels which we have done, we have dates which we have set up, and then we have checklists. Checklists are like subtasks. So let's say I want to be saving 2,000 daily. I can add it. Then what else is, we have members, attachments, create your own custom fields. So I added this as a checklist, save 2,000 daily. So let me say I get to like add it and add it and add it and add it. Maybe up to like 10 times, depending on how I want to do it, or I want to change something. But let me just add save 2,000 daily again. So this is my checklist that I have done. So I can get to tick it off that hey, I actually saved 2,000 naira daily, and it shows 100%. You're seeing where it has striked it off. Now, see that when I go over here to my checklist, I can assign dates and members to my checklist. I can also assign due dates as well. I can assign dates and members. So if maybe this is a to do, this is like a project you're working on under event planning, and this falls under the finance aspects. Okay, and I need my teammates to prepare a fundraising letter. Yes. So let me say this can be prepare fundraising letter where I wrote this. Okay. Okay, so let me say prepare fundraising letter, for instance. Right? So I get to tick it good if we actually did it. And I can assign someone to it. Okay, I want maybe up to 3 persons to be in charge of this. So I get to add members to this checklist, and if they have actually done it, that's when I can go over here and tick it off and strike it off. So this is just like the content of your card. This is what it is about. The description, you can get to describe what you want your card, whatever it is you want to do. Let's say for instance, my description for finance is I want to build a savings habit. For instance, I this is what is in my description. I can make it bold if I want. Anyhow you want it to look like, you can adjust it. And then that's all for your card. I mean, that's just all under your finance card. And you see that it shows here. Are we seeing this? Okay, sorry about that. I'm talking now. So, this is just it about your card. You can see that here where I wrote save 50,000 naira. You see the duration October 10th to 30th, and you're seeing these two checklist items because I added two checklist items, which is save stars naira daily and prepare fundraising letter, just like how I used in the example. This is our label. I labeled this under savings. I think the label is supposed to color both green title series. Yeah, okay, yeah, this is what I'm going to see. So you can see that over here where it writes savings, this is your label. You have labeled this work as savings. So we can go over here to investments, make an investment. We can still label it as investments. This is our title, investments. and then we save. So I want to invest by November 3rd. Or salary has come in and I have saved 50,000 naira. So I want to invest that 50,000 naira maybe in First Bank, for instance. So the date is due 3rd November, and the time, I can fix my time to be 2 p.m. Set reminder, you can choose it if you want it to be 2 days before or 1 day before or 2 hours, but I'll still stick with 2 days before. And then I go over here to save. And then that's just it. This is just all I want to do about my um, card. So you see that over here it shows the label investments. Make an investment due November 3rd. It's supposed to show the time. Yes. And that's just it. And now there's something I want to show us. Can you hear me? Please confirm if you can hear me. Please confirm if you can hear me. Okay, that's good. So for each card under your list, you can add a picture. You can add a cover photo. So now, let's say if under finance, I want to add a cover photo for my savings. You go over here where you want to edit your card. You're seeing open card, edit label, change members, change cover. This may not look like it in your phone. So I'll just go over to double tap and open my card, and then go over here, this picture icon. When I go over to it, it shows me cover. Can we see where it's showing cover? So where it's showing cover, I tap on it and it's going to suggest, oh, how do you want it to just have a color, or do you want it to have an image? Remember where I went to? I went here, cover. So it's giving me different colors. That's if I just want it to be color friendly, or I can upload a photo. So let me say I want to type investment, for instance. I'm looking for any picture that has to talk about um that has to talk about savings. So it's showing me pictures that talk about savings. So let me look at this one, for instance. This is the picture I'm selecting, and here it has automatically uploaded it to my finance card. So you can, if you want it to be like this visible, this is the option, or you go over here to the right and it tends to make your um, picture more bold. But I think I would go with this, and then that's just it. Under here you can join a card to read, but we are not looking at that right now. I just really want us to understand the basics of Trello. Then this comments and activity. Someone can write a comment, what they observed, what they are adding. And by the time you add your members, which is over here, you add your members, they can also get to comment on your work and also attach links as well. So that's just like you've seen that this picture has added, right? So let's do the same for investments. I want to add a picture I'm more comfortable with how it's just there. So I search for photos and I go over to type investment, and it's giving me different pictures. Like, so you can get to choose any picture of your choice you're comfortable with. So let me choose this one that has investment put in there. And then this is it, investment. And that's just all. It makes your work to look more, you know, I say more presentable, more finer, and it just makes it look good, you know. So that's just it. Because of time, we'll not be able to go over to this and this, but I really want us to know how to make use of our board, which is this my personal goal. This is my list: finance, health and wellness, growth and mindset. This is my card: savings. This is what I want to achieve under finance, savings, investment. So under health and wellness, you can put workout session. You can put your start date and your due date. You can have your workout session. Then maybe another one can be feeding habits, for instance. What kind of food do you want to eat? You can just anything at all. You can freestyle it. I'm just giving an example. Then other growth and mindset, you can add a card of read read about personal development, add your due dates, add your pictures, just like how we did over here, you know. Then you can now add another one as much as you want, whatever thing you know you want to achieve under your um under your list. It's a list. You know, at times some lists do not end. It's just like when you're going to the market. Oh, you know you want to go to the market. You want to cook jollof rice, for instance. You know, most people go to the market with list. Okay, what do you need to buy from the market? Oh, your tin tomato is there, your pepper is there, your onions is there, right? Ingredients. No, your meat, your fish, your egg, all those things are your list. So that are under the project of cooking rice, you get. And then when you now go to the market, you buy this and you buy that, you have made your transaction, you now tick it off that, oh, you actually bought this. At times, most times when people go to the market, they write down their things on the list according to priority, what is more important, or they tick it off from the list from what is more important, right? So that's just, this is just about that on creating your board, your card, sorry, your board, your list. This is your list, and then your cards under it, and then you still have your your checklist item, which is like a sub task that guides your card. Okay, so you can you can change your visibility if you want it to be private to just you, or members of your workspace to view and edit, or publicly for any person at all to edit your work. Then you get to share, you type who do you want to share this with, whoever's email you want to add. You can, type it here, or you can create a link leading to your board and then send it to whoever you want to send it to. And now when you add someone's mail here, for instance, okay, either the person is a member or an observer, but for this observer site, I need to upgrade to get access to this. So that's just it about um sharing your board. You can also change the background of this board. This is where it comes in here. We are seeing change background. So let's change the background to goals. I think I'm also going to do maybe a phone version of Trello so that it will also be easy for us to navigate. So before I explain how to change the background of our board, I'm going to be sending the attendance link so that we can put in our attendance. Please make sure you type in your correct name the way you have always been typing your name so that we don't get to duplicate names. We don't get to duplicate it. So we have just like 2 minutes to type in our name for attendance. Please let's kindly hurry up with that so that I'll just go back and brush up on our conclusion. So once you're done with your attendance, just come back here and type done so that I can move on. Okay, thank you so much, um, Opeyemi. Okay, let's hurry up because once it's 8:26, I'll continue from where I stopped in the class. Okay, so I am going back to continue on where I stopped. So, like I said earlier, you can change the background of your project, your board. You know, it does not necessarily look like this. You can change it to whatever color. You know, in Trello, it's either you're choosing a color or you're choosing a picture, and under the picture, you get to browse any kind of picture you want. And then we have custom. You can add from your the image in your device. So these are like the three options you have. Either you browse photos from the web, or you choose a color as your background, or you already have a picture in your phone or in your system that you want to make use of. So if you say we want to choose this color, you've seen that it has changed my board, my board to this. Take let's choose another color. Let's say I want to go with this dark orange. You see that it has changed. So depending on any color I want at all, it just adjusts to that. And then let's go over to choosing pictures. Um, Let me just type goal. Just add goals, for instance. Now, under goals, there are a lot of pictures that are aligning with what I typed. So it just depends on me. What do I want to, choose? So let me say I'll just choose this first picture. It's uploading, and here it is. This is how my background of my board looks like. So you can freestyle it anyhow you want it to be. Same goes to the picture of your card. You can choose any color you want, or you can choose any picture you want. And you see that the background of my board looks like this. This is what I'm working with, right? So that's just it about navigating through the Trello app. So, does anyone have any question before we conclude? Please kindly check if it is your network because some persons have responded to the attendance. I'm seeing the responses. So try again or copy the link and paste it in another web browser. So does anyone have any question? Do we understand Trello? Do we think we can, start practicing with this? I'd really appreciate our responses so that I can know um, where we are heading. Okay, thank you, Samson, for sharing your feedback. Because once the assignment goes now, I don't want someone to say it's hard or they can't do it. So please, I'm open to your questions. If there's anything you don't understand, please let me know. Okay, if there are no further questions, um, I believe I have done a little bit of justice to Trello. Although there's more to this, you can take your time and look through it. You can go through the templates just to understand. You know, it's not something you get to learn in one day. It's not something you get to understand fully in one day. Practice makes perfect. So the more you use the app, the more you navigate through, the more you understand how the system works. Right. So I really want to appreciate everyone for being part of day one, week seven's class. Um, by the grace of God, we will be meeting tomorrow as well, and we'll be looking at how to make use of Asana. And I want us to actively participate in tomorrow's class. Thank you once again for your time, for being here, and being willing to learn, creating our time to learn. So, this is me saying thank you so much, everyone. We will see tomorrow and have a lovely night rest and have a lovely weekend ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. Take good care of yourselves. Bye.